concerned about the insurer's reputation, that the fact that the people trust insurers less?
Yes, but I think that's coming from the way that customers are used to experiencing goods and services now, and that it's a highly personalised and satisfying experience. So 20 years ago, coffee was coffee, and it was pretty bad on the whole, but everyone just accepted it because that was all there was. But now that you've got Starbucks, you can personalise your coffee, in 3,000 different ways, and it's not just coffee. Obviously, it's everything to do with the case that you carry your phone in, the way that you personalise your screensaver at work. Everything is all about what makes you feel good and what you want to experience. And the challenge for insurers is that they can sometimes have the dialogue with their customers at a hygiene factor level. So they will talk about, we pay so many claims, as if the customer would really appreciate that. Whereas customers would say, well, of course you do, because that's what I've paid the money for. So the value will actually be ascribed to the personalisation and the experience, not to just meeting a minimum standard.
Do you think that ultimately insurance should replace the welfare state?
No, absolutely not. I mean, I'm totally personally a product of the welfare state. Free education, free healthcare. My family would never have got to the stage that we've got to, without the welfare state. So the welfare state is there to provide a safety net for everyone. But what we have to appreciate is that safety net is very much a one-size-fits-all and is by definition very basic. The state can only afford what the taxes from the public will allow. But people can buy individual insurance for all kinds of things. And that can very much complement the state and help society. I'll give you a very simple example. Income protection is something that lots of people think about, but most people overestimate the protection that they would get from their employer or from the state, and underestimate the likelihood of actually being sick or out of work, and therefore not being able to meet their financial obligations. So if you have group income protection, it provides that for you, and it's estimated that at the moment the fact that insurance exists saves the taxpayer, millions of pounds a year, as much as 200 million a year. And obviously that's then money that can be spent on other things.
What are the opportunities for insurers today?
One of the really big opportunities is obviously to keep increasing the size and opportunity of the market. New risks come along all the time. I mean, cyber is the buzzword of the day. Obviously, cyber risk did not exist, 50 years ago. Insurers are actually quite good at that. So where there's a whole new area of risk, if you think about all those risks that have come along, insurers have been pretty good at responding to that. What is more of a challenge is this issue of inclusion for all. So you can have an area of insurance which actually is quite standard, like travel insurance, but for a variety of reasons, pre-existing medical conditions is a challenge. Yeah. And it's really important that insurers do go to the difficult pile, as well as simply breaking new ground, because of the concept of protection for all and inclusion for all, which is at the heart of insurance.
What is the Institute's role in all of this?
The Chartered Insurance Institute is the professional body for insurance and financial planning, in the same way as the Law Society for lawyers, or the BMA for the medical profession. And all professional bodies have basically the same role, because we all know that to be a professional has sort of three essential contents to it. One is competence. So all the professional bodies obviously manage the learning and qualification frameworks for their particular profession. But very importantly, there are two other aspects to being a professional. The second is integrity. So when you join a professional body, you actually personally sign up to a code of conduct and ethics in terms of the way that you're actually going to perform what you do in relation to your customer. And then the third very important concept is care for the customer. It's what's called a fiduciary duty, because if you're a professional in a particular area, you tend to have a lot more technical knowledge about that area than the customer does. So they're in a vulnerable position in relation to you, and you have to behave, very well towards them. So that is something where you do actually have to make the customer feel that you do understand them and their needs, and that you're going to behave appropriately towards that.